Okay, so our stories are very similar to the other speakers. We ran with recorded lectures and Zoom Q&As in between. We also had recorded practical material, also supported by Zoom Q&As in between. I was just going to focus on an additional tool that we used, the Ed discussion board. We chose Ed. I have an example here of what the native LMS discussion board looks like in Blackboard. It's not greatly user-friendly and not used very much at all. So we went for the new format in Ed, and I'll show you in a moment a little video that we made on how Ed actually works and how it looks and runs. And that was part of the videos that we made for the students. So apart from the educational material that we made, we also made a number of videos, instructional videos for the students on how to use modules, because we had moved to modules in Blackboard, how to use Ed, how to do things. So they were additional resources that we made for the online transition. So with Ed, it's an interactive discussion board. It's an external app that you can access separately to Blackboard, but we made the link available through Blackboard. You can enrol all the students in so they can all use it. And it's also mobile device compatible, so they can actually follow the discussion board on their phones. It has social media-like features, so students quite like it. They can tag posts, they can like posts, endorse, pin, highlight things. And overall, the features give us greater control. So you can get emails or notifications when something's been posted, so you can actually go and have a look and keep things up to date in a timely manner. So during the COVID session, we did have live Zoom Q&As. We had all our recorded materials, but with the addition of the Ed discussion board, that filled a bit of a gap in between all that as well. So Ed was used to bridge content delivery and assessment, and we encouraged students to post questions, which they did, and we also made an effort to ensure that all those questions were answered in a timely manner, just to keep that interactive vibe happening all through the session. So I won't go through too much more because I'll show you the video in a second. But it proved quite beneficial to maintain student connection, because it was like a partly discussion board, partly like a chat area where they could discuss content, and I guess they could discuss other things within that within the discussion board. And as I said, we had optional Zoom sessions for 1 hour twice a week, and that covered any unanswered posts in Ed at the same time. The good thing about Ed is some students that are a bit hesitant to post, Ed allows anonymous posting so that students could post questions without revealing their identity, although to staff we could see the student's name. So this is our
video. For the opportunity for us to show you Ed STEM and how we've used it in molecular biology too. So in molecular biology 2 LMS Blackboard site, we just put the link on the side under support, where it says Ed Discussion Board. Students can click that and they'll be faced with this user interface. They can see all of their subjects or any subjects participating in that. On the top bar here, you've got different built-in apps into Ed. So resources where you can drop PDFs, the discussion board itself, Sway where you can put particular quizzes. They don't connect to LMS, so they didn't send a mark over, but it's a good way to do non-accessible quizzes. Analytics, if you've got admin rights to the subject, and administration, again, if you've got admin rights to the subject. So having a look here, you can organize your subject by categories. You can put as many or as little categories as you like. In this particular subject, it was broken down into general queries, lectures, bioinformatics, and so forth. If we were to look at some of the engagement and connection with the students that we've had, for example, bioinformatics is a big part of their learning experience. And so when we look at that, let's go to a good post here. So someone wanted some clarification on what's going on in a different app in OneNote. You can see student name comes up here. How many students have viewed it? 70 unique students have viewed it. Some people have viewed this post multiple times. You can watch the post if you want to get notifications about it. Put a star or pin it up, which will put it right up the top there. You can see in this particular post, I've answered that question and the student has acknowledged that. So here's another one, an example of a student who wanted some help in week 6, question 4, has proposed a question, has even tagged the particular staff member or tutor so that it notifies him or her that this post has been made and that they've been asked to answer it. The tutor will get a email about that and the tutor can then come in and action that. So you can see here, Glenna, the tutor, has replied to that and the student has also commented, thank you for the help and thank you for answering that. Same thing with our lab. If we go into, for example, standard curve clarification, this is a good example of what we mentioned in the presentation. We can put anonymous, students can post anonymously, however, the staff can actually see their name. And so this particular student is asking a question and another staff member has answered it and has even put links to a different, to where it's been already answered. So if we went into that link, it actually takes you to where it's already been answered. Someone else has asked that question. Again, the views are 110 unique views, even though the subject is only about 130, 140. So most of the students are engaging in that. And you can see here, I posted an answer, a workthrough on how to actually do your standards graph. I've posted 2 videos and I've received a lot of thank yous for that. And also some students then asking about a few more questions on how to do it, but it's been answered by that. So the user interface is quite friendly. It's really good. I've seen, if we just jump quickly into the analytics part, which will give you more of an insight on how the performance of Ed went in a particular subject, as soon as it loads. All right, so you can see here, over 250 students have participated. Some of that is repeat students. All 10 staff have participated in that. You can see the levels of participation as time goes on, April, May, June. These particular spikes correspond with when assessments are due.
And basically, we just have a little bit of pros and cons on the use of Ed there. Just that it's quite easy to use. The only main cons are there's a bit of preliminary setup and a short explanatory video may be required just to induct people into the use of it. But I'll leave it there so that the next person can continue on.